This is a 6C past per question where they say given that a asterisk b means the square root of a plus 4b, where the positive roots are taken, determine the value of 1 asterisk 2. That's for 2 marks. And we have a second section to the question where they said whether the operation, or determine whether the operation denoted by the asterisk is commutative. Justify your answer. So we'll be going through both questions. So with this first section, they said that a asterisk b means or equal to the square root of a plus 4b. They said we're supposed to evaluate or determine 1 asterisk 2, which is equal to, now from the previous video, a is 1, b is 2, so it's the square root of a, which is 1, plus 4b, so it's 4 times 2, so 1 asterisk 2 is equal to the square root of 1 plus 2 4s 8. So 1 asterisk 2 is equal to the square root of 9, and the square root of 9 is 3. So 1 asterisk 2 is equal to 3. So remember, when you're finding the square root of a number, you think to yourself, what number do I multiply by itself to get the number underneath the square root? So remember, 3 squared is equal to 3 times 3, which is equal to 9. So the square root of 9 is 3. Or we could even say this, the square root of 9 is equal to the square root of 3 squared, and we already know that the opposite of square is square root. They're going to cancel each other, so the answer would be 3. Or we could even expand more on this. Remember that square root, we could represent square root with an index. The index that represents square root is a half. So 3 squared to the half power. Remember, when we have a number raised to a power, then it's raised again by another power. We're going to multiply. Half times 2 is 1, which is 3 to the 1, which is the same thing as 3. So let's go to the other section of the question. Now, they said determine whether the operation is commutative. Now, commutative law states that a asterisk b should be equal to b asterisk a. Now, if you are paying attention, you realize that we just solved for a asterisk b. A asterisk b is, we substituted the value for a as 1, b as 2. So down here we already have a value for this section of the question. So what we are going to do, we are going to solve for this section, in which I'm going to write b asterisk a equals to the same system, the square root of a plus 4b. If you realize what I did, I spin around the variables. So I'm going to rewrite the question that they gave us, 1 asterisk 2. Up here, this section, a was 1, b was 2. Down here, b is now 1 and a is now 2. So what I'm going to do, 1 asterisk 2 is equal to, what's the value for a now? The value for a now is 2, plus the value for b is now 1. So we're going to have 4 times 1. So 1 asterisk 2 is equal to the square root of 2 plus 4. So 1 asterisk 2 is equal to the square root of 6. And if you know that you should know that the square root of 6 is a irrational number, in which when you put it on the calculator you get some whole heap of decimal places. That's some basic explanation of a rational number. So if you realize we didn't get the same value for as a asterisk b as b asterisk a. So what I can do, I can give a little statement. For remember, it's 3 marks for the question. I can write therefore a asterisk b is not equal to b asterisk a, Hence the star is not commutative. So remember, the star is representing the binary operation. So what I could have said also, hence the binary operation is not commutative. So you have to learn how to apply commutative and associative law on binary operation questions. And which relates to how I solve the question to prove that it's commutative or not. Remember, up here A was 1, B was 2. Down here I switch around the variables. So with commutative law, it has to do with spinning around the variables. So down here, B, instead of A being 1, we have A being 2 down here and B being 1. But it's the same system we're going to work with. We're not going to spin anything in the system that they gave us. The only thing we spin around was the variables. Now, if you didn't spin the variables, you would have to spin the values that they gave us. You would have to spin the values. So we didn't spin the values, so we spin the variables, so that would be okay. So you can, as I said, you can rewatch the video as many times as possible to see if you can get a better understanding at what I did.